shirts based off of their personality.
I would have got a shirt that says "You chose stupid today."
I'm a little.
There is such a thing as a wrong answer.
I can't.
There is such a thing as a dumb question. I'm sorry. People need to stop saying that.
Welcome, guys, to the UnHinged podcast. We are rolling. We have, first of all, thank you, Reesa, for coming.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you so much, and shout out to your manager. Love her.
She be
She
on it.
She be on it. Email me, hey, yes, love her. Like, yes, we need to hire her. But slick.
Is she taking on any more people?
No.
Thanks, Mom.
We need you on our team.
Literally.
If you got some availability,
Yeah, if you got to tell
we willing to
we'll
sit
pay.
down and conversate.
Seriously. She was on it. But obviously, we want to thank you for taking the time because we know you got a busy schedule. So we thank you once again. And shout out to Mama. Love you dearly because you keep us on our toes. I appreciate it.
Baby.
But firstly, thank you for coming once again.
Absolutely.
And I know I keep saying that because y'all don't know the backstory of what we had to do.
We royally made a mistake. This is not the first time Miss Risa Tisa has sat down with us.
No, this is not.
But the fact that she was willing to re-record with us, that's big because most people would be like, "Nah, you fucked up the first time.
Yeah.
It's done."
It's done. Yeah.
And I sat there and I was like, "Oh no,
we literally had a nervous breakdown. I was like, "Oh my fucking
Vicky
God."
was like, "Do you want the good news or the bad news?"
Yeah,
I was
She
literally
hit
called-
you with that.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I know her. I know her temperament.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give her the bad news first. Let her feel her feelings, and then tell her the good news. Be like, look at the bright side, because I'm the optimistic friend.
Shut up.
Yeah, but obviously we know you. We love you. You like family. For those who do not know your story, how would you explain your story to the people?
I would explain this. Okay, so I would explain it in the most simplest way is that I got on social media on TikTok February of last year, February 2024, and I proceeded to tell the entire story of how I met, dated, and married and divorced my ex-husband, whom I believe to be a pathological liar. And I talked about just everything on how we met. We met, through online dating and just the courtship and all the stuff that happened and all the red flags that I ignored and didn't pay attention to. And then subsequently how everything just blew up and it ended up being a 50-part series on TikTok and it kind of spread like wildfire from there.
Girl, it didn't spread like wildfire. That was a goddamn tornado.
Literally, child.
You had so many women doing deep dives on their mans that sit next to them. Like, I need to start looking at social security numbers.
Literally.
We need to do background checks.
Proof
Like,
of funds.
do I really know you?
Yes.
Like, there were so many women talking about Reesa made me think twice about dating somebody before I get all the information.
Yeah.
I feel like now there needs to be like a contract.
Yeah.
Write everything out. Give me all your information first. Then we can see about a date.
Yeah.
After you check out. Because girl, you was dating somebody that was living a whole another person's life.
I know. It was insane.
And then I also want to preference too, and I said this the first time we sat down, but thank you for your vulnerability because you made it safe for to show what it looks like to not only number one stumbling when it comes to love and be okay with stumbling, and then secondly, this could have happened to anybody. There's no, as much as people like to say like, oh, there were signs, but sometimes we all, sometimes we don't see them, and then when you want it to be your turn, we overlook it. We said this last time. We overlook a lot of shit when D is involved.
But we look at D as love sometimes, and that's what messes us up. We get lust confused with love, and when them hoes intertwine, you blind as hell.
I feel like though in my case it wasn't so much the D as much as it was that whole societal peer pressure and religious peer pressure of I need to get married. I need to be married in order to have a child. Because I really did not want to be a single mom. I was raised by a single mom, and I really wanted the whole be married, have a family, have a home. I just felt like I was 35 when this story happened, and I felt like time was running out. And I just kind of got to a point where, look, if he proposes, I'm accepting. And I didn't stop and do my due diligence to really investigate the person that I was intimately involved with. because of that whole you're desperate to fulfill a box that you think you have to fulfill by a certain age. And I said this the last time, and I say it again, desperation has so many different faces. You know what I mean? It's not just pick me, pick me, pick me. It's ignoring things because you don't want to be by yourself. You don't want to be single forever. So there's a lot that I had to unpack.
Yeah.
When I really stopped to look at what was my role, in this.
And because obviously I didn't share this the last time we sat down, but after you shared like the different phases of what desperation looked like, I actually said that to my therapist, and we actually unpacked that.
Really?
And I told her it was a piece of a quote you said first time we sat down, and you said desperation doesn't look like the pick me, pick me. It could be something as simple as that gut in your feeling, like, oh, I want to press the issue, but I'm gonna be quiet.
I'm gonna be quiet.
We tend to do that a lot. We see red flags, but we look at the overall picture like, oh, it's not that bad. It's not that big.
No one's perfect.
No one's. Yeah, we will do that. And the fact
hit
is,
me in the judge. You said that made.
it's okay.
It's still fresh for you.
Okay.
Shout out to that Atlanta producer. I hope your song go platinum.
No, you don't, bitch. Oh, you don't. You so fucking petty. No, you don't. She don't feel like that. But I've noticed that.
I feel like petty is like, you know how you hear the 7 is it 5 or 7 stages of grief?
5.
Okay, I feel like petty is number 6. Like, let's acknowledge being petty is part of the grief process. Like, you will go through that petty stage.
I hope you don't.
And
find
some
no
women just don't leave it, and others do. But I feel like it is part of the. So we listen and we don't judge.
You're right, friend.
We do be petty. I'm not gonna lie, but I've noticed something about women. We will vent to our friends about how bad our spouse is, but we won't do anything about it. We will sit there and vent and vent and vent, but no action will be taken. We just want to let it out. But then we go back to the same situation.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times when we unpack it and we uncover it, we do not feel like starting over.
Yeah, literally.
We don't feel like starting. It's like I'd rather fix it with you than to start over with somebody new.
Yeah, and that the reason for the ick. Like I just don't nobody say that. But what's in terms of the series? What's one thing people got wrong about the series that you did unpack?
The people who believed I didn't love him. That was one that it bothered me that a lot of people were like, she didn't even talk about that she loved him. And when I look, because I have rewatched the series, but when I look back on it, I was like, I really did not do a good job.
No, fuck that. Yes, you did, because you stayed.
Yeah.
I was sitting here thinking, like, why would she have to say she loved this girl? Stayed with this man when he lied.
Because a lot of people felt like I was with him in order for him to pay my bills.
Shit. I'm sorry. And what type of love make you stay that long?
It was because I've read a lot of the comments, and it's not even the comments. It was the think pieces, and a lot of people were like, she didn't even talk about how she was in love with him, how she was this or she was that. She never talked about anything positive, and that was something that when I did watch it back, I honestly did not talk about anything positive, and there was a reason for that, and I never addressed it in the series. And the reason is every good memory I had with him, and some of the memories are very simple. It was during COVID, but one of the things I enjoyed was just riding in the car with him just talking. We would be in traffic, we would be going here or there, and just talking because you couldn't really do too much. Well, the things that we talked about, we would share stories of childhoods and this and that. And, we would laugh at our coworkers, and we would just swap stories. But eventually, I found out everything he told me was a lie.
I was about to say that.
So every positive memory I have
was a lie.
Is the umbrella of it is you find out it's completely made up. So there's nothing that I can actually sit here and say, you know what? That was genuinely a good time. And it's not tainted by the fact that it was a lie.
But I also think people confuse love with giddiness and happiness. Sometimes love is not happy. Sometimes love is sticking around and fighting, even when you pissed off, even when you want to leave, even when you kind of sort of hate that person. Love is not always happy fucking feelings. Love can be angry. Love can make you cry. Love can get you depressed. And I'm sorry, as watching that and listening to you and how you went through the motions with this man, I knew you loved him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all did.
I knew that. You didn't have to verbally say that. And sometimes people have to understand that love is not always verbal.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It is how you move through life with that person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be told I love you every day. But if you show up with me and you're there when I'm crashing out and you still love me, that is love. See, I think a lot of people got this surface level shit all fucked up.
Yeah.
Love sometimes make you want to punch that person in the face.
Literally knock their head off their shoulders. Literally.
That sometimes is love. I watched my grandparents go through it for like 50 plus years. My grandma left my granddaddy in the Walmart parking lot. Because he was getting on her nerves.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. And she said, you know what? I'm going to turn on back and go get him. That's my husband. Yeah, she went and got him after I told her to go back and get him. But she said, I'm going to go get him. That is my husband.
Yeah.
And she went home and cooked him a dinner. And they ain't say not 2 words to each other. But he know she loved, like that sometimes is what love looks like.
And I remember I was unpacking with my therapist, and she said, we was unpacking, said relationship dynamic, and she said, if he went mute today, could you tell by his actions that he loved you? Meaning he couldn't talk. Could you tell by his actions if he loved you?
And that, I think that is a very, very good threshold, because a lot of people go off of the verbal and they don't go off of the action. And and the people who were giving me a lot of grief about it, I was like, okay, you go off of the verbal. And I understand that you wanted to hear, you know, I really love this man, I was in love with him and all of these things. And the fact of the matter is, when it came to that time in my life, I was ready to love anybody. Like you could take him out and replace him with someone else. I was ready, because that was all part of your wanting to fill that box. Yeah. So
why am I finna cry? Oh my God!
You better not start it.
But it's wait,
going through it right
now. But that's real. It's like I was ready to be in love, and he could have been Joe from Construction R Us, and I would have kind of gets me, and I would have loved him.
Who can play that game? Really? Where the women, what was her name? The one that got the man from Bobby Brown from the car shop, fixed them up. She just wanted somebody to love her, and she was willing to get it from anybody that came. And all he said was, "She looked pretty today." Didn't know nothing else about that man, but she looked pretty today, and that's all she needed. As okay, somebody wants me, and sometimes that's all it takes. Especially when you're in a very low place and you're very lonely. Trust me, I dated somebody that did not work, and I paid his bills, so I know what the fuck that shit is. Never again. Yeah, but that was one of my low moments where I just wanted somebody to love
like
me.
I wanted the marriage. You know what I mean? And when I got married, my attitude was, all right, I'm gonna make this work. Yeah. It wasn't even, you know, I joke and say the butterflies turned into gas real quick, and it did. But I also knew, well, you made your bed, so you don't have to lie in it. And for the people who were like, "Dag, 6 months," it got to a point where, when I said in that series, I do not know who this person is in the guest bedroom, I meant that. Like, I had no idea. I had never met someone who lies to that scale. And unless you have met someone like that, it's almost hard to believe that a guy can take a phone call in front of you and without even thinking, you're trying to listen to see if there's anyone on the other line. Yeah. Because it never dawned on you that people do that. It's like
they fake talk.
Yeah, like if someone takes a phone call and they're like, "Hey, I'll be right back. Let me take this call." I never thought to be like, well, let me act like quality control. Everybody quiet. So we can hear if there's another voice on there. Now, it's funny.
It is, but it's not funny.
But it's not funny because I find myself literally every single time someone does it.
Really? Is that so you have PTSD?
I have literally, every time someone takes a phone call around me, my brain is immediately like, do you hear the other person? And once I hear them,
Yeah,
then I kind of exhale.
Now?
Yeah.
That is scary. That could traumatize you like
so
that.
let me ask, since all of that, how have you been protecting your central nervous system? Like, I know obviously we'll get to your traveling because Risa be gone.
I saw you did something that, you know, made you smile. You were cutting flowers and building a bouquet. Has that evolved into more?
So protecting my nervous system, you mean like how am I protecting my peace?
Yes.
So it is little things. The traveling does help. The traveling really does help because, you know, I on social media I'm trying to be funny and I say I'm catching flights, not feelings.
Period.
But at the same time, it's almost just like I don't want to say men give me an ick, but I have an ick.
Yeah.
And I'm just in that space.
I guess fair.
And so I hang out with the people that I trust, people I've known for a long period of time, hang out with family, and hang out with me. Like I'm so anti-dating, and it's not even anti in a negative way. It's like if you say, hey, there's this guy I want you to meet. Oh, okay, why? Girl, I just think y'all would hit it off. Oh, okay. And I'll meet him. Okay, and then I'm gonna scratch my wig and I'm leaving. Like I have no desire to be like I want to impress you. I have no desire to be like, oh, I want to exchange numbers.
But don't you know that's a healthy place?
Yeah,
and I believe I'm fine.
That is a healthy, like after everything you've been through. That is a healthy. I was in that place, and I was so happy with just me that anytime somebody was like, Nene, I want no. It'd be a no. But she, no. I was good. I was enjoying myself. I was pouring into myself. I was pouring into my creative spaces. And I got to a point where I was so happy with me that someone stepped in and added to my happiness.
So I'm at the point where I'm at the very, very, very beginning of that. So I'm at the point where I'm not fully, I just love being by myself. I'm not there. But I'm also not at the place of I want to entertain.
Yeah.
Like it's a fear of dating. I'll be honest about that. I have a fear of it, and because I have a fear of it, it's just like I shun it. But I'm very happy for anybody else that is in a relationship with y'all. Like I'm that girl. Yeah. Like, oh, you're in a relationship. Like when you talking about Mr. Big, like you bitch.
Yeah, you submit. I'm with you. We like, girl.
And you know what? I used to be that girl too. Like, okay, is there something else going on with your life?
But I'm happy for you. It's just, it's like a.
Okay, happy girl. Like one of our team production, shout out to Cindy, she get married in a couple weeks. Hey girl, congratulations.
So I do have a question. What is something that you left out of the series that you may have wanted to add it to give people another perspective on everything that was going on?
I kind of wish I had went a little more into the mentality I was in when all of this was going on. Because I think if I had gone more into the mentality, maybe people would have understood why I had stayed as long as I had. It was not, oh, he's paying your bills. I was paying my own bills before I met him.
Get message.
Like, let's be very clear.
Because Reesa been established.
I was paying my own bills, and I said this in the series, but like, I was living paycheck to paycheck, but I was okay.
Yeah.
Like, it was a little hard, but my electric bill was still, my lights were still on, my water was still on, my car insurance was, was paid. But I was okay.
Yeah.
So I was not with him because of money. And that's the part that I'm like, well, Dad, maybe if I had explained a little more the mentality
it really
I had.
wouldn't matter because it's a black woman stereotype. The only reason we with a man is for a man to take care of us. The only reason we shit on a man is because a man stopped taking care of us. That is a black stereotype that black women are going to carry no matter what the situation is. We're always going to be considered gold diggers even though we're paying for everything ourselves.
I know. But
and at that point, I'm feeding into that shit. Yes, bitch, I'm a gold digger.
What's crazy about it is who was, at the time, who was giving, for me, the most aggressive think pieces and comments were my cousins, because I always say cousins and best friends.
Yeah.
Some people get it, but my cousins were the ones who were like, that could not be me. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope it's not you.
Yep.
But it could have been you.
Yeah, literally.
Just, it would have looked a little different.
And some people lying. It was them. They just don't want to admit that shit.
And this is why your vulnerability has been important. You were bold enough and you're brave enough to actually put it out there like, hey, this is what it is. And that's we all do social media. That's the craziest part is we're bold enough to air our shit out on camera. Ain't shit shot mama if you see this, my bad for cussing. But ain't shit you can tell me. You can't shame me with shame I didn't already wore. Yeah. You're not gonna make me carry shame I didn't earn. Yeah. If I put it out there, I own it. I've already dealt with it. It is what it is.
And it's therapeutic.
Yeah. But that's the thing that I'm seeing a lot of people, especially a lot of creators right now, are something. There's some disconnect about if you put it out there, go ahead and own it. Yeah. And then if you put it out there, do understand that once it's out there, you are going to get the praise, but you're also going to get the criticism. Just own it. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of how I looked at it. It was like, all right, well, look, I married him, damn it, and I divorced him, and here's what happened. So, and I think this is the part, and we're gonna get into the movie or series adaptation in a second. But after all that said and done, obviously, thinking of the past, is there anything Voldemort can say to you now? Even if he was to ever come across your path. Has he spoken to you lately? No. So we have no contact. Is there anything he can say? Yeah. No, because I've already made my peace. Yeah. I understand. I'm never going to get a legitimate apology. I'm okay. I do feel like we should not ever have contact with each other. Yeah. So that is something that I can tell you in 2025 is still important to me, that you have no access to me. Because that in and of itself is helping to protect my peace. Because you can get sucked into, she lying, she did this, and I'm not playing that game with you. I'm not. So there's nothing that he can say because I've already made my peace with the fact this is a chapter in my life. I'm not letting it define me. You know what I mean? But the closure I had to give myself. Yep. And I was one of those women who always felt like we need to have a conversation for closure. I don't do that shit. We need to have that one last whatever for close. That is hard. But there comes a point when you realize, you know what? This shit just did not work. It blew up. And I felt like the visual I can give you is everything was destroyed and I'm standing in the middle of rubble and now I'm like, all right, let me figure out how to start cleaning it up. Yeah.
I have a number one rule. I never give closure.
You never give it or give it?
I never give it or give it. What I do is I block you. I don't even tell you I'm breaking up with you. Now, I block you.
Wait, do you ghost?
There's warning signs. I always give you warning signs. Now,
do you ghost people?
No. I know. You get warning signs. That you can't ghost somebody when you telling their ass, hey, you fucking up. You got so many more chances. I'm at my last whim. Understand the signs. Why would I give you closure? We could sit back and rehash everything we didn't talk about so you can find a little wormhole in to my heart again and we start this cycle all over again. No, I block you from everything. I remember I broke up with an ex I was living with. I had moved out. Changed my mail. I had moved out, changed my address. Girl. I waited for that person to go to work and everything was gone. By the time they got back to the house, it would look like I had never lived there. Damn. And the only way they could reach me was through email for me to pick up my last bit of mail.
I don't remember this. I don't know which ex this was. I think I know
it was a female.
Okay, yeah, I know which one this was. The girl. See, I don't do that.
I'm not.
So you moved out while they were at work.
Yeah, I planned it all.
So
I down payment changed everything.
Legion used to use that as a manipulation tactic. Oh. So growing up, I'm just looking at everybody in the room. Mm-hmm. So growing up, obviously I was raised in the church, right? Mm-hmm. So don't have a baby outside of marriage. Make sure you get married. Don't live with a guy before you get married. Obviously, he and I lived together, and I'm telling you, there are certain things you've done that you realize you will never do again.
Mm-hmm.
I will never live with a guy outside of marriage, and the reason why is because I now have a PTSD trigger about it. Because when we would have a disagreement or if we would have an argument, he used to say to me, "I'm gonna move out while you're at work."
Oh.
But at the time, I was financially, I had made bad decisions where I was financially like, if he leaves right now, I'm gonna be fucked.
See,
and so it scared me.
Okay,
and so I remember how we would have arguments, and I would be at work just stressed up, stomach in knots, and he would be like, "You know what? I ain't even gotta take this shit. I'm about to call my brother, and I'm moving myself out."
That's some gaslighting shit right there.
Gaslight, and so because of that, I never want to put myself in that position. Where I have a fear of, while I'm at work, you don't pack your stuff.
I don't care.
I get it. It's just a different perspective.
It's a different perspective for me. That person can hold their own financially. I don't move in with nobody. If they leave, I can't take care of the shit myself.
Exactly.
And I make sure that person that I'm moving with can do the same thing.
That's where I feel like there's so many anecdotes in this story. That's one of them that I could have done. I could have hit home more for any woman or man who's watching it and is like, well, you know, I moved in and you find yourself a little financially dependent on them. That was a huge mistake I made. And it's like, now I'm like, shit, no.
That's literally a form of abuse.
Yeah.
And that will I've seen a lot of women say, I saw a podcast where a woman said the reason and her husband was sitting next to her. He didn't cheat on her several times. And the man over there was like, "You never left." She said, "I don't have an education."
I know which one you're talking about.
You see what I'm talking about? She was like, "I don't have an education.
I can't do better than him.
I don't have a job." And he said, "Yep, that's right."
It was heartbreaking because you know he had been telling her that.
Oh,
and she clearly started to believe it.
Yeah, and he sat right next to her and said, "Yep, it's true."
It was heartbreaking.
I wanted to jump through the goddamn screen and slap the shit out of him and pick her up. That was some real shit. Like, watching women have to suffer through it because they're not financially prepared to get out of a situation. That's worse than being abused physically because you can see the hits coming.
Yeah.
You can't see the hits coming when it's financial. You can't see that because they could just turn off your phone at this.
Yeah. And it's all a control thing, too.
Yeah.
And so that's when you said that, I was like, yeah. So she moved out while you was at work? All right, then.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question that's not a part of the list. There were a lot of people trying to replicate your shit online, especially them. How did you feel about that?
Well, I feel like Risa. Go ahead. Go ahead, Risa. How you
I didn't get to ask this question.
How you feel, Risa? Go ahead.
So,
don't find it. Just say it.
I felt like No, okay. So I really felt like I had a few stages. Number one, I thought, what? And number two, I thought I went from what to what? What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
If 2 + 2 is 4. Some of them, I really felt like, you know what? I'm glad to see that you want to get your story out. But there were some that it was very evident you're trying to copy paste and do the exact same thing. And I wanted to say to them, I don't think that's a good idea. Not because, I did it so great. No,
don't worry, we did it for you.
I think people, 8 hours is a long time, right? Because that's how long the whole series is. I think people kind of were just absolutely overwhelmed with it. So to then come up with your own 8-hour series, I think some people were like, oh no, child, I ain't watching this.
Yeah.
I think they were exhausted. So I think doing it a different way would have been better. But then there was one in particular. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm going to own it. I'm going to own it. I saw Who the Fuck Did I Marry Part 2. And I was like,
I know what you're talking about.
What?
I was like,
I didn't see that one.
That's his ex.
No.
Oh, no.
This is a whole different. This is a whole different creator. And the title of it was Who the Fuck Did I Marry?
I clocked her ass.
Part 2. And I was like,
she was like, well,
or season 2. She was like, this is season 2. And I was like,
and we clocked her in the con. She's like, y'all, I wasn't trying. I said, you should bite off a black woman.
I was like, Herbo, who this?
Oh, Lord.
black people can't have shit to themselves.
I said, I don't know who it is. And then I saw someone else go a bit viral with her story, and people tagged me. They forever tagging you, and I was like, no, just let them do their thing, because there were people in my life who were like, they did it is kind of the same. I think the storytelling part is where there was some disconnect.
Which, by the way, you're an amazing storyteller.
Thank you.
And I think we said this last time. You need to either be narrating books or doing some audio. Literally, audio books is like amazing storyteller.
But yeah, that's the part that I just was like, it's so funny you asked me that. You trying to get me in trouble? I promise you, I was at home scratching my head like.
I'll be scratching my head too. I mean, because I've seen people try to replicate what I do, but it's hard to replicate what I do because I have a certain kind of personality, a certain kind of attitude, and I'm really bold.
And you can't replicate a personality.
You cannot, but you can try.
You can try.
But the thing is, you're number one.
Yeah.
You're the one that got everything out of it. So no matter what they do, they're not going to get the same outcome. No matter if you white, black, Asian, it's not going to happen. You're inauthentic at that point. And who wants to buy inauthentic shit besides, the clothes?
Yeah.
But nobody wants to put that on TV. Nobody wants to purchase that. You're a knockoff. And anybody that replicates somebody's originality on social media, bitch, you a knockoff.
And it gets called out a whole lot more on social media than it did if it was like, honestly, if it was like Hollywood. Because I did see, I saw some of the comments. I was like, y'all are brutal. I mean, I get it. But y'all are brutal.
But it's nice to have people say, that's Risa.
It really was, especially when, like you said, Black folk weekend. And I was like, man, I worked hard on that. And you just come part season 2.
And she thought she had it, and we ate her ass up. She never put up another video like that. Yes, we did. We made her take her shit down. She was like, it wasn't like that.
It was very
like part 2.
Like
she sat in her car
and
put the camera up
in the car.
Did I Get Married? Part 2, season 2. I was like, I didn't know we were having a season situation because
I'm scared to go watch it.
It would have been a lot to unpack.
You know what? That would be a good idea for you though.
What?
For you to have women do seasons with you. Girl.
But you gotta ask yourself, Risa, like, do you even have the emotional bandwidth?
It's like, so here's the thing. Things are in the works that you can't announce until it's time to announce
Gotcha.
it. But I do believe in people telling their story. That has not changed. I do. So that's the reason why you never saw me make a video against it. It's just between me and my friends. I was like, what the fuck?
So there are people that's already bought the rights to your movie. I mean, your story, and I think the person that's getting ready to play you is
amazing.
That was T right there. Whoever came up with that whole little photo poster, T. But if anyone else could play you in a movie, who would it be? Or anybody could play that big-headed bastard that fucked you over. Who would it be?
Oh my God! So Natasha is the correct person to play me. Every interview I ever did, when they asked me who are your top 3, she was always like the number one name. I said her. I said Jill Scott, and I said Danielle Penny.
Jill Scott.
Well, yeah, those are my top 3.
She's an emotional person.
She got it. Yeah.
But Natasha, I felt like, Natasha is funny, but it's serious, and I feel like that is a good representation of me. In terms of who could play Legion, I wish I knew his name.
Is it the one everybody hates that played in Why Did I Get Married?
No.
So it can't. Okay. So here's the thing. It can't be Richard T. Jones because Richard T. Jones is fine.
Oh, he gotta be ugly.
He doesn't need. I can't see. Okay, so Richard T. Jones, when I close my eyes, is an asshole. He can do the asshole part.
Yeah.
But you do need someone who. There are certain aspects about my ex-husband that need to be brought out, and I feel like the audience
really did love him.
I feel like the audience would look at Richard T. Jones like
Richard's no fine.
Shit. Legion, come get me. Like, I think that they would say that.
Yeah, literally.
So you kind of do need someone who can who can clean up on the red carpet, but can look rough in the show. And I cannot picture him looking rough.
So who's gonna look rough?
There's a guy that I can't. I honestly
What
cannot.
movie did he playing? What did he playing? I'm about to Google.
I don't know. I feel like he has a three name like Brian Michael Key. We'll have to come back to that.
We'll find out.
Because I can picture him, but I don't know what he's played in. And someone brought him to my attention, so that's the reason why I'm not overly familiar with his work.
Mm-hmm.
But he is someone I'm like, I feel like you could clean up for the beginning of the show, because again, when I met him, he did not look.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Nuck if you buck, you look like Peachtree Road. He didn't look like that. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. He did it.
Yeah.
So you need someone who the audience can kind of understand, like, okay, I get it.
So
and then you need someone who can go into, man, you're ugly. Like you need someone that the audience can go on a journey with when it comes to looks.
So what was the hardest part with the adaptation of this going to the screens?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, what was your reaction when the opportunity was brought to you? Like, were you nervous? Were you just like, y'all, this ain't real? Or how was that reaction?
So going through because it's a series of meetings I had literally Zoom meetings with some of your top people in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. The fangirl starstruck kind of wore off after about the third Zoom.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah. Because basically, when I say it was surreal, I'm sitting in my dining room table, I'm home from work, and I'm on a Zoom with 6 people. And let's say, for example, one of them is an A-list Hollywood director. They are pitching to you what they want, what they envision based off of your 50-part series. So it's almost like you're sitting there listening. Okay, so what is it that you think that we could do with this series? And they're telling you, and some of them I was like,
wasn't impressed.
I didn't see what they saw.
Yeah.
I didn't see what they saw. So it was surreal. I'm like, oh my God, you're you. Okay, what do you have? Because I just sat in an hour and a half of traffic here in Atlanta.
I'm
tired and I'm hungry. My stomach is growling. I want to take this wig off. What do we have?
Mm-hmm. You and this wig, girl.
It's the truth because, again, they're taking time, so you want to be respectful of their time. But it was one of those moments, it's like, you don't really have to talk.
Yeah.
Because they're pitching to you. So it was, listen, here's the tea for y'all. It was a knockout, dragged out fight between my agency and getting this deal done, because there were 2 powerhouses. There was Natasha and another entity that was fighting to get the rights.
Oh, wow.
And one was like, this is where, if my attorney sees it, she might be like,
just skim.
No, but it's one of those opportunities where you have to decide which one is more important. Telling your story or having the money.
Oh, that's a good.
And people be fucking that up sometimes.
And so you have an opportunity where option A, or let's say company A, we will pay you 8 figures for your story, right? We want to turn it into a movie. We want to turn it into a TV series. But you cannot do anything else. We want your life rights, which means anything that happens to you, good, bad, and different, we get to make it.
That's what happened with that got out of jail.
You want if you want to write a book, if you want to do a podcast, all of that we control. But we're giving you an 8-figure deal.
Oh, hell no.
So how important is it for you to have, I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
But how important is it for you to have the money or tell your story? And then you have company B that's saying, well, we'll give you this amount and, we'll turn it into a show, we'll turn it into a movie, and you get to keep your rights. However, it's not as much as company A.
Yeah.
So which one is most important to you?
Do you get producer credit?
Mm-hmm.
Baby, that takes you other places.
Yeah.
Literally.
That opens up other doors,
producer,
and especially if someone who is big wants your story but is not culturally aware of who you are, that is really big, because sometimes Black people, and I'm sticking around this because I'm we sell our rights off and our life stories off to white folks and white productions, and they make us look so bad, or they tell the story so wrong, and they don't get the cultural aspects of us, and it ends up being a shit show.
Yeah.
So I'm happy you stuck with somebody who is culturally us and understands where you're coming from as a Black woman, because that is important.
Yeah.
And right now, with the climate that is happening in the entertainment industry due to whoever the fuck is in office, because I can't stand his ass. Hope he has a stroke doing golf or something.
Girl.
Hey, I said doing golf.
You want time stamp?
I said during golf.
Y'all might have to cut that.
God do us a big one.
Oh, Jesus.
But he has his hands in Hollywood at this moment. And if you would have given your stuff to a bigger place, they probably would have shelved it.
And I don't know if anyone has told you, but thank you. Because I don't even think you realize the decision you made. You've opened so many doors, not only for yourself, but for other Black women in the media production space. For us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For them.
Well, I'm gonna cry. I think I'm emotional.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Thank
Because
you.
but I do get it, because there did come a point so a lot of this, you gotta have the right people around you too.
Yeah.
And you gotta have the right people around you that are gonna fight for what it is you say that is important to you. I've said it's important to me that women and men, because it's not just women, get the opportunity to tell their story, right? If that is the case, don't necessarily go for the biggest check, because you have to think about, what does this biggest check get me?
Yeah.
Do I still get to keep control of my voice? And the fact of the matter is, you may get the money, but you ain't got no voice no more.
And it's gone.
It's gone.
And
once it's gone, and once you sign it, once you docu-sign, it's like it's
fair game.
done.
And like 50 Cent said, I get to make you into whatever I want you to be now. And he just got his production studio in Louisiana, so I guarantee you that whole BMF stuff, it's about to be ugly. He about to paint him as a rat now, and he can do that because now he owns his likeness.
Yeah.
So
he owns his life story.
So what's one scene? And I know we talked about it, but I want to see if your answer changed. What's one scene that has to make it into the series?
Well, there's a few, but the day he got kicked out.
Yep, I remember that one. Yep.
The day he got kicked out has to be. That has to be, and in my mind, I'm like, that was such a raw situation that I feel like if you say to me, hey, Risa, there's going to come a day when you are emotional on set, it is probably going to be that one, because I know how I was feeling in that moment. Even now, 5 years later, I still remember just how red and raw and angry and in a rage I was, because I realized you played me in such a way that I'm finna go to jail.
Yeah.
I'm finna go to jail.
Yeah.
See, when people start saying jail, you know you done fucked up, like, in a lot of places. Because when a woman is talking about, I see myself, go ahead and get the bail money ready.
And I said that in the series. I was like, I was in the process of leaving my old job and getting ready to start the new job, the job that I'm currently at. And I remember thinking, you ain't gonna get that job.
I know. Damn.
Like, you really about to have a booking photo.
I'm sorry.
No, that's for real though.
That's real talk.
It's
But
real
you
talk.
And if you had gotten processed on Friday, you weren't gonna be out till Monday.
Nope.
Yep.
Ask me how I know.
I think we've all been there. Like, not today. We've all been there. Not today.
Right.
Wait till
It's
Monday.
Wait till Tuesday.
And it was during the week. I remember that, but still, it's like, so that is the scene that I'm like, the way I described it when people were laughing at something, because I do have that sense of humor. Yes, it really was like the Carrie scene when the blood fell on her at prom and her eyes were, and the Angela Bassett scene from Waiting to Exhale when she was looking around the closet. Listen, had it not been for the blood.
Ooh, the blood of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's just funny because
you can laugh at it now.
I can laugh at it, but I just remember how I was so involved in reading the comments.
Yeah.
And you can tell who understood that simple line of, had it not bend for the blood. And the people who were like, what does she mean? What blood? Who bled? And you had people commenting like, honey, she talking about the cross. She talking about that cross.
But God.
And it's the point where you gotta just like, hold on, like, boy, you better be glad Jesus with the cow. Because it'll be you.
Yeah.
I promise you.
And the fact that so many women could relate to your story. Like, I was sitting there like, yeah, I would have hurt him. Like, the way women you gave women a release, whether you realize it or not. You gave us a he-man, she-man, woman hate. You gave us a fucking release because I ain't seen that many women rally up and said, I would have hooked him up.
Yeah, they'd have been in jail.
Yeah,
that would have been that day. That would have been that day for me.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, when it comes to writing your book, how is that process going?
It's so we're officially at the point where, oh God, okay, so I do have a book deal. It will be announced. So I guess y'all have the early tea. So the book proposal's done, which got the book deal. So now it's like we're deep diving into the book. And it's exciting because I fought so hard to be again back to company A versus B.
Yeah.
I fought so hard because more than anything, I love a book. I love an audiobook. So it's like, oh yes, this my literary baby. And the book is not a rehashing of the 50 parts, right? The book goes deeper.
Yeah,
so it's going, and it is me. You talk about, girl, you were authentic in your 50 parts. The book is turning out to be, bitch is naked. Bitch is naked.
I didn't go to therapy.
Like really just, and it's, I'm coming from a place of, all right, let's own this. Let's own it, because the question that some people asked and some people didn't. Okay, so you got with Legion. How in the world did this man even come into your life? Like, not so much how did you meet him, but how was he able to come into your life? And what role did you play? How can what you learn help someone else? Yeah. So those are some of the questions that the book is uncovering.
And congratulations on your trademark.
Thank you.
I saw that.
Thank you.
That's big right there.
And I purposely wanted to put that out there because I wanted to show own your name.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah. Own your name. You know, like I mean, it's a long process, meaning it takes a while, but girl, I own it. So yeah.
I'm learning that now with, I just realized I was on a Diddy documentary and I didn't even know about that. Like I'm seeing myself being put in places and I'm like, I don't have no say so.
Get you some
Risa told you that last time.
I can't find nobody.
You told her that last time.
She did tell you that the last time.
You better do a Google search.
I'm working on it. Okay, back to
you.
Get off me. Back to you. Get off me.
Okay, now, because considering all things in which we are so proud of you. You're amazing. And now that everything is settled, obviously it's been years past, what is life like for you now? In terms of, because I know traveling, last time we spoke, you just got back
from Paris.
Beautiful trip.
You said you hated it.
I know.
I didn't hate it. I loved London Mall. That's what I'll say. Life right now is chill. Yeah. But it's chill because, like, I still work my 8 to 5, which surprised a lot of people. I still work the 8 to 5, so that's my normal. But in terms of Risa Tisa life, it's like, okay, contracts have been signed. The trains are leaving for the TV show, meaning that is about to really start taking off. The book is taking off. So it's very easy to think, like, she ain't doing nothing. But I am. Yeah. It's just all, it's almost like this is the quiet stage.
Because it's going to get chaotic.
Exactly.
Once you get that producer stage.
This is the quiet stage of, all right, you're working on the book. You're working on the TV show. You're working on this deal. You're working on that deal. And everything gets released in its time. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm chilling. But I'm only chilling on the surface. Whereas underneath it's like back-to-back meetings. Back-to-back. Yeah. So, and I'm good with it because I'm learning. Yeah. You know, I'm learning.
And you know what? Keep the hustle. Keep your job. People think I don't have a job.
I don't know why.
I don't know why they do that. They don't think we work because we do social media.
Because the mentality, I think, is that if I see you so much on social media, that must be all you do. And
I know how to multitask.
It's like, no, I'm not a content creator. I'm just on my lunch break.
Like,
that's all it is.
I have to start saying. They'd be like, you're an influencer. I'm not an influencer because I don't tell y'all about shit. I don't influence y'all to do anything, change your hairstyle, nothing. I create content that may get you to think a little bit. I think I do that. So I finally started saying I'm a content creator. Girl, you jump from telling a story to a fucking producer. Everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
That is, you are what people are looking at.
Yep.
When in terms of how far can I get. And I've been watching other TikTok people move up. One girl, she's got a Disney series coming out. I seen another guy, he's got a Netflix series. So I keep looking at these people. I'm like, there are other places to go besides TikTok. And you just got to keep your head like focused on that. And I can remember myself being so far behind. I thought I would never get to this point. And I'm looking like there's a further way to go.
There is a further way.
Especially.
And imagine where you'll be like a year from now.
I don't even know.
Because there will come a time where you think like, man, you remember when we were doing that podcast, that thing, at that one place in Atlanta? And now, your assistants are like, are y'all ready? Your assistants. You know what I mean? Like, you have to see that and be like,
even feel right.
I know.
Girl,
why not?
Well, I'll never go forget this.
Yeah. But why not? Why not get to a place where, you're doing interviews with, major TV shows and they're like, so tell us how it all started. Man. So, yeah.
Okay. So, when it comes to boundaries, I know you're not saying you're ready to date. Are you even ready to have a conversation?
Reesa said hell.
Just like...
What you mean?
Why did your whole face?
Okay, so what do you... A conversation, like...
Building a friendship with someone first.
Yeah.
Like, because you
Reesa.
No, like, build a friendship.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Reesa, what if he want to step out the friend zone?
Like after a year.
Yeah, like after.
So I'm not.
See, look at
No, I'm saying like to put a time limit on it. I'm not there.
Okay.
But if a guy was like, man, you're my butt, because I'm thinking of a person who was always like, you my friend, hey friend, and I'm just like, you have a crush on me though, and it pisses him off. But it's funny. I feel like friendship is good. And I feel like friendship is good because I wasn't friends with my ex.
Oh.
I wasn't.
So, good segue. Now, what's one piece of advice, considering people who have watched your story, what's a piece of advice you would give for anybody about to enter the dating space and dating culture now? Because
look at your face.
I know.
So I do have RBF. It's a medical thing. But, resting bitch face. But I do feel like, on one hand, take your time.
Yeah.
But I have to also acknowledge that there are people in a situation who were like, but I don't have the time to take. Because they do feel like I gotta hurry up.
You know what I'm just now? I do a lot of reading for what I do. You know what I do. But I just read somewhere that more women in their 40s are getting married and having children at their 40s now.
Yeah.
Than they are in their 30s and their 20s. So we actually do have the time. Society put that clock on us. It
did.
And I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't a clock that black people created. So fuck them anyways and fuck society.
But we're saying that, and I agree with you, but I also understand as someone who was under that clock that that there are certain things that happen that make you feel like you're running out of time.
I was under that clock.
Yeah.
And I miscarried under that clock.
And so did I.
Twice.
And so for me, like I just turned 40, and one of the things that I just have to be honest with myself about is, okay, you're not dating. You don't know if you're going to date anytime soon because you know that you're still in ICU. You're healing, but you're still in ICU. You don't exactly know if kids are in your future. I'm not jumping on the TikTok trend of 40 with no kids, because I understand that I'm 40 with no kids by circumstance, not necessarily by choice.
Gotcha.
And there's a difference. And I celebrate the women who have no kids by choice. But I know for me, if you said to me, hey, in a year, you are somehow going to be married and pregnant, there's a part of me that would be excited.
See, and that would scare me.
Okay.
And I think it scares me because I lost two through ectopic, so it wasn't like the regular miscarriage. It was like I died the first time on the table,
right?
Major surgery, second time major surgery, lost the two, lost over.
So there's a medical fear.
Yeah, there's a medical.
I don't know
fear.
if I would survive.
Yeah,
and I totally get that.
And I'm with somebody that wants a child, and the fear is if I am not able to do that for them because of the fear that I have.
Would they leave?
Will they leave? Or will I be enough in the marriage for them? Because I know this person wants kids, but I'm about to be 40 this year.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, when I started dating, I ain't see kids no more. Kids were, and I was like, oh, I'm dating people over 40. They ain't gonna want no damn kids.
So
wrong. I was so wrong. I was so like, okay, I ain't gotta worry about children.
But that's a conversation that you and him can have.
Oh, we've had it. We've had it multiple times. And the feeling is now like, okay, that clock is coming back on me. That clock can always come back.
So for me, it looks like there are certain things I don't do if I know it's going to be a trigger. Baby showers.
Yeah. I don't do them either.
I don't do baby showers. Yeah. As weird as it may seem to some people, and that's fine, that's them. For me, it is like I'm not yet 100% where I'm ready to accept I may not have a child, so a baby shower is triggering.
Yeah, fair.
And so I'm happy for you. I will send you a gift.
Yep, I do send gifts.
But I'm not going to attend.
Yeah.
It's a thing, and until I have gotten to a place where I'm in an acceptance stage, that's just something I don't do.
Walking in that room can be overwhelming.
It can.
It can be, and then you get the questions of, well, when you gonna have kids? And then
I don't necessarily get those questions, which I'm grateful for. But then but then in the back of my head, I'm like, are they not asking because they're like, bitch, it's too late.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? So no, I'm being for real. So when you say like, what advice do I have to people? There are some people that I understand that they feel like I'm running out of time. Those are the people that I'm like, look, if you really, really like this guy and you really like this girl, whatever they're telling you, just verify it.
Yeah.
Let's just start with that. Let's start with the bare minimum. They said that they're a teacher at such and such elementary school. Verify that.
Can I see a pass, an ID?
Lord.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a t-shirt.
Here's the crazy thing. Like, it's so weird to say it, but this is 2025.
Yep.
Like, we live in an age of fucking artificial intelligence that people can make up whatever. So I don't see anything wrong with just being like, yeah, I mean, so what's your sign? Oh, you're a Gemini. So what are you, a May baby or June baby? Like, there's a way to do stuff. Oh, you're June? June what? Because my uncle was like June 10th. They will tell you their birthday.
I thought Mr. Big was a drug dealer when we first.
Girl, she did, and I was like, oh my gosh.
I thought he was a drug dealer.
I had to talk her off the lid like he's not a drug dealer.
There are ways to find out what you need to find out to do a quick criminal history search.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, this man got 2 phones. He meet people at dark times to get stuff. He's doing transactions in the bar.
He consulting.
He's consulting. He has a credit business.
For farmers.
No, he does like business consulting.
Okay.
He does project management, and he has his own credit. Like he helps people fix credit. But a lot of these people are nighttime. They work in clubs and stuff. And I was just looking at him. I was like, "Did you just pick up some money? Wait, I think I'm with the wrong person." And so I casually asked him. I said, "Are you a drug dealer?" And he just looked at me. He got mad. He was like, "Why is every time a good man walk around and they doing business and they got their shit together? Why y'all always think black men are drug dealers in Atlanta?" Well, it's Atlanta.
I mean, we don't think that they're drug dealers, but I think there's something to be said when a guy understands women are asking you these questions because we done been through some shit. Yeah. And to be fair, there are men who've been through some shit.
Yeah.
So if a guy asks me questions, I no longer, I'd rather get the questions than anything else. Like, let's sit down and have a whole conversation. Because I know I done been through some stuff. You done probably been through some stuff. Because let's be honest, some women make us look bad.
Yeah.
Like, let's acknowledge that there are some women who done put some good men through the ringer. Mm-hmm. And by the time you get him, he's so damaged and he's in ICU himself. Yeah. And so there has to be that open dialogue. I mean, I'm glad you asked.
I did on the first. I did as soon as like the second date happened. I realized, I was like, wait, I never really asked this man what he did, and he moving weight, not weight but money, and you know people giving him money at night. Mm-hmm. We in the nighttime life. I said, am I dating another drug dealer?
Not another one.
We all heard the another. Yeah.
I dated a female and a male drug dealer.
Girl, you live many lives. I didn't know about the other one.
Most of the people I dated were in law enforcement, so the fact that I ended up with...
Hey, I loved a bad boy at one point. One point I loved dorks, another point I loved bad boys. Mm-hmm. But when we first went out, I dropped everything on the table. I ain't even give him a chance to ask me. I let him everything. Okay. And he just like, well, okay, I think I can deal with that. That's the way to do it, though. That is. I'm too old to like sit there time. And like creep through the... Nah, nigga, bust the door open. This what it is. Yeah. Can you deal with it?
Or can you not? Mm-hmm. And if you can't,
that's fine.
It's cool.
You're going to have to let somebody deal with it at one day.
I know.
Two, before we wrap, what would you call this chapter of your life now? Like if you had to name it, what would you name it?
I would call it Discovering Peace.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I would call it Discovering Peace. Because peace, it looks different each day. Mm-hmm. And I'm just discovering things and I'm like, you know what? That's just who I am, or that's not what I'm going to deal with. Or discovering peace can also be, I'm discovering how to protect it. I'm discovering how to find it. I'm discovering how to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's why I would say discovering peace. Cause
I really hope this part of this chapter of your life is in the book. And
it is
part of the series.
Because
women don't always get to see the other side of the hell. Mm-hmm. Usually the story cuts off and you never really know what exactly happens, or they give a small little montage. No, I want to see the Risa Tisa that buys her first house. Mm-hmm. I want to see the Risa Tisa that goes to Paris. Yeah. I want to see the Risa Tisa that takes herself out to eat. Mm-hmm. I want to see that.
And that's part of the whole discovering my peace, because I'm like, man, that's
chilling
that's
with
hard.
her girlfriends. Yeah. I want to see that Risa Tisa because it is important to see the aftermath. Yeah. And everybody's not always completely broken. Mm-hmm. I think the one thing that all women have is a strength to pick themselves back up.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Especially when you rebuild yourself. I see this a lot of time with men, like, why when we break up, you just become such a good person, you get fine and stuff. I'm like, they were like this before they met you.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Yeah. They lost themselves with you. Yeah. And they're finding themselves again. And now you found that person again.
Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful to
and she is glowing.
Literally.
And I am so happy to see a happily ever after. I know I got a man, but without a man.
Yes. Because we don't get those fairy tale stories a lot of times. We're so used to seeing trauma. Shout out to Tyler Perry. We're so used to. We are. It's the truth.
Oh, she went there.
Man, it is the truth. I'm so sick of him.
Y'all talk about me.
She's so sick of him. But I'm sorry.
She went there. Spicy videos.
Well, he ain't never gonna want to work with us.
Call me Tyler. But we don't get to see what. We don't get to see the fairy tale stories because Tyler Perry, you wrong as hell.
For color girls, messed my whole life
Girl, up. And people still love Michael Ealy. Well, can't he drop no kids?
Listen, I will say this, and hopefully, I'm a Shonda Rhimes girl.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
Ava,
I ain't even mad that she be putting most of the top female black characters with a white guy. Shout out to Shonda.
I am not scandal. Hey, but I ain't gonna lie.
I ain't Bridgerton. I ain't mad.
But they say those relationships are the ones that last the longest. I'm not gonna bullshit with y'all. Black women and white men, they last the longest. They have the least divorce count. Yeah, I'm just saying, I love me some black men, but
statistics do show that.
Well, let me
last your face, Jay.
Last question though, because I know obviously in review, are you thinking about casting your net wider outside of
Outside of black men?
Uh-huh.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not.
Hector.
I don't have an issue
Yeah.
dating outside my race. Like you said, I think, first of all, I think love is beautiful.
I can't do that.
I think black love is beautiful. So for me, I'm just in a place where whoever I meet, I'm judging more character than I am. And I know that sounds so weird. I'm judging you off the character,
No, it's
not
true,
the color of your
though.
skin. But it really is, at the end of the day, for me, I just want to meet someone who's honest, who loves me for me,
Oh yeah.
who makes me feel like Christmas Eve
Oh.
every day.
And who got that good D? Come on, that's not.
I mean, good
Good dig is important, but here's the thing: I need to be able to talk to you when we ain't got no teeth.
Why you had to say no teeth?
Because it's the truth.
When we're old and we're wrinkly, can we still laugh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if your dick don't always work, or something happens to me and I don't have the desire that I did, can we still laugh?
I can honestly say that's one thing that I never really had in my past relationship was laughter. And that is one thing that I think, what I've read statistically, the more you laugh with your partner, the better it is. And we go at each other.
Yeah.
We crack on each other.
That's
all
why I
the
say
time.
me and my ex were not friends. Like there's something to be said about being friends
first
with your significant other,
and that's why I asked you,
And
you
being
were thinking
able to-
about that, like
Yeah.
building a friendship with someone.
because that's the
that
only
could be
way.
great.
That's the only way I can do it. But I I'm no longer in the space of, I want a 5-bedroom, 4-bath house with 3 car. I don't care about that. I care about, can you just be honest with me? Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Because it does go both ways.
Yeah.
Do I feel safe to be honest with you? And are you going to love me, love handles and all, love me for me? And yeah, I do want that feeling of, you feel like Christmas Eve every day.
I'm gonna have to put that on my date app.
Because some people are like, why Christmas Eve? So for me, Christmas Eve is the most exciting day of the year for me. Like it is just this giddy, like I can't wait for my family to see their kids.
I'm sorry,
I can't wait to for my friends to open their gifts. So Christmas Eve is like, I've always been that weird person that's like, I just want everyone I know to be cozy at home with their loved ones. And tomorrow's Christmas. And so it's such an exciting feeling.
Yeah.
It is.
And now translate that with the person you're in a relationship with. That they give you those butterflies, but also there's a genuine like,
Mr.
They're coming
Big
over.
wore Grinch pajamas with me from head.
Girl,
to
that
toe.
man love you.
And why?
that man love
He
you.
wore Grinch head to toe
And
and
he
watched the
loved
Grinch
you.
with me and made cookies and
See,
we did it all.
that man love you.
Well, Risa, we thank you.
Thank
We
y'all.
appreciate you. We love you. We are so excited. And when the book drop, expect
Hopefully
like,
we get another, we can sit down with you after the movie and
and talk. Yeah.
Y'all heard that? She said
Absolutely.
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 Yes. Well,
I
We're
said
gonna
it
be
in-
the only ones that's down at the bottom like, can we get a
yeah,
quote?
like listen, like we need to holler at you, but we love you and we thank you so much.
Thank
for just
y'all.
letting us
This
time.
was fun.
Yeah, shout out to the team. We love
Yes.
y'all.
Thank you.
Shout out to y'all.
We have an all black female producing team.
Yeah, production.
Jada.
I'm gonna clap like
Sydney.
Nancy Pelosi.
She claps like that.
Oh my
God.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh no, y'all are
Of
welcome.
course.
Because we were not releasing that other one.